Hi.
Hi. So today we're going to be talking about Chat-GPT, and as you know, it's an artificial intelligence tool that provides people with answers to their questions, and we think it's really interesting from the socionics perspective.
Because basically using this tool requires TI style of communication, because you need to say exactly what you mean, you need to be precise in your choice of words, you need to be clear in the sense of building the phrases correct, like exactly like you can't rely on like what if I would rely on context or like awareness or cultural awareness of the thing itself. You can't expect it to like guess your motivation with asking a question. So TI really works there. TI just says exactly what you mean, like very directly, and that's basically what ChatGPT expects from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing there is that because most people are not TI valuers, there's a lot of which was amazing to us because we are TI vulnerable. So. And so that was really funny because there's that things like when they give you instructions of how to build prompts, which was very sort of like, but the whole thing is a natural language thing. You're supposed to talk to it just like you normally talk to other people, and that's like, why would you need a formula to just formulate like a thought, a sentence? And but it's so popular because people want to swap that TI style of clarity into T style of like, here's an instruction, mm-hmm. You can follow this formula in order to get this result, which is actually, it's quite funny because we found like that's for the first time in quite a while, this technology is relying on people not having basically delta values right now. Mm-hmm. And that's very interesting how people are trying to immediately to go around that, mm-hmm. with the formulas. And
yeah, it's almost like for people TI is like a rabbit hole that they have to basically come up with a way to efficiently. Well, I think a lot of it is motivated by efficiency because I guess.
I mean,
it's trial and error, because if you formulate a question, it's like, oh, I wasn't precise enough. Let me try again.
If you're logical, let's say you're logical delta type, then you would have like that, like it's easier to automate certain things. Which again, to me, sounds like define a purpose. This is a language.
Yeah, I mean, also like it's surprisingly enjoyable. Like I find personally, from a TI perspective, it's just kind of fun. Like even if you get the slightly wrong answer, you're like, oh yeah, it's because I wasn't precise enough. Let me try and be more precise, and it's kind of like an interesting, like a game almost, right? But for people, it's frustrating because they don't get the answers that they wanted, like not to the question that they wanted, and they're like, why I asked this question? So it's interesting how a lot of the communication that actually happens to be like not, like it just happens some other way. It's not because people actually mean what they say. They're expecting the machine to be able to understand them in the way that people normally talk. A lot of people.
Basically because a lot of people are Fi valuers.
And it doesn't understand them.
And people get really frustrated. I think there's like, oh, I asked it this and it didn't. No, you didn't. You actually asked it to guess your motivation because you know what you like. Yeah. You expect people to understand why you say it. Yeah. Machine doesn't know why you say it. Machine just takes your words. No one expects it like to interact in a way where words are that important.
Yeah.
Like, they think motivation is more important than literal words.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting observation that we've made so far.
But yeah, it's also interesting because like usually there is a lot of stuff that is determined by like what is happening. Like again, when it's about like purely cultural stuff, because like imbalance happens of types, you'll see a lot of like basically delta values. But technology can pull it in a different direction.
Yeah.
Which is a fun example of that, yeah.
Hasn't been, well, recently, it was like unprecedented almost, like you could say. I mean...
For a while, yeah.
For a while, yeah. It's an interesting development. Yeah. So thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.
Bye!